Hello students, today we will be studying about a plant disease, that is red rot of sugarcane. It is a very serious and destructive disease of sugarcane. The contents which we will be dealing in today's topic includes introduction of the disease, history, symptoms, etiology, the disease cycle, and some of the control measures for disease management. So, as we all know that the disease name is red rot of sugarcane. In this disease, the host is sugarcane plant and the causal organism is a fungi, Colletotrichum falcatum. Talking about the history of red rot of sugarcane, so it was reported in 1893 by Wen from Java, in 1901 by Barber from Godavari in India. Butler in 1906 gave the name rot. All sugarcane growing areas, this disease can be seen in all the sugarcane growing areas. An epidemic in 1939 to 1940 was seen in East UP and Bihar. As I have already told, the red rot of sugarcane is very serious and destructive disease of sugarcane. It occurs in tropical as well as in the subtropical regions of the world where sugarcane is cultivated extensively. In India, it occurs most of the sugarcane growing states, particularly Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, etc. Coming to the symptoms, so the symptoms of the disease became apparent after the rainy season on the stem and leaves. The earliest symptoms are the yellowing and drooping of the upper leaves. Elongated red spots as seen in the diagram or in this picture very clearly are seen on both the upper surface of the midrib in both the direction. The later lesions become straw colored in the center as seen here. In the center it becomes straw in color and with the development of black acervuli and dark reddish brown margins. With the formation of asexual fruiting bodies, which is acervuli, these lesions become covered with powdery mass of conidia which serve the spread of disease. Then moving ahead, as we have already discussed the earliest symptoms, which was the yellowing and drooping of upper leaves. In the later stages, this leaf starts drying from bottom to top. The external symptoms appears only after 16 to 21 days, or we can say after 2 to 3 weeks after infection, and drying of entire cane takes another 10 days time. In the later stage, the stem shrivels as very clearly seen in this picture. The stem, it shrivels, especially at the nodes. The rind loses its bright color and becomes dull in appearance and longitudinally wrinkled. Infection of the stem being internal, as already told, the presence of the disease is not visible externally. When the diseased stems are split open lengthwise, the inner region, look at this picture, the inner region is reddish in color with intermittent white tinges across the cane length. Sometimes the pith inside the cane is filled with blackish brown liquid and emits an alcohol odor. So in all these pictures, you can very clearly see how you can recognize the disease and what are the symptoms of red rot of sugar. About the effect of disease. So the red rot disease, as we have said, it attacks the standing sugarcane crop and causes enormous loss. In an epidemic form, when we talk about it, then it causes a heavy reduction in the stands and even threatens to wipe out the entire crop in the field. Due to enzymatic action of the pathogen, there is a conversion of sucrose in the cane juice into glucose and alcohol. This loss in sugarcane may be as high as 33%, we can say, or consequently there is a reduction in the recoverable sugar in the factory. Etiology of the pathogen. The pathogen of red rot of sugarcanes belong to the kingdom fungi. The causal agent of the red rot of sugarcane is the form species Colletotrichum falcatum, belong to a form class of fungi imperfecti. The subdivision Deuteromycotina, that is the fungi imperfecti. Mycelium is septate, branched. and dark in color. The mycelium of the fungus is localized in the spot. Asexual spores, conidia, are hyaline, that is translucent, single-celled and falcate in shape. When we are talking about falcate, it means the shape is somewhat like this. It is falcate in shape. Hyaline means translucent. Asexual fruiting body, acervulus, is present. Acervuli with seta arises through epidermis. The fruiting body, perithecia, is pear-shaped and it is present in the leaf sheath. It also produces chlamydospores, and the colony of these spores are black in color. Look at these pictures. Very easily you can see the cell structures, the seta. These long strands are the seta, and this round portion seen here, these are the conidia. See, it is labeled here: conidia, seta, conidiophore. Conidiophores are those structures which produce conidia. So when we are talking about the conidia, as we have discussed earlier, conidia are hyaline, that is translucent, single celled and falcate in shape. The favorable condition for this disease to occur is the temperature should lie between 29 degree to 31 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity which favors the disease to occur is 90 to 100%. The rainy and cloudy weather is very suitable. Disease severity increases if drought conditions occur during the initial growth phase of the plants. Disease cycle, which occurs in three phases: perenniation, primary infection, and let us try to understand the disease cycle of red rot of sugarcane through a flowchart diagram. Coming to the first stage, that is the perenniation, which is the dormant phase or the resting phase of the causal organism. The causal organism lives from one growing season to the next on the debris of the diseased plants. The mycelium remains dormant inside the diseased cane. The conidia are short-lived and thus play no role in the perenniation of the pathogen. The thick-walled chlamydospores in soil, chlamydospores and perithecia, are considered as a probable means of survival as they remain in the soil and in the infected plant debris. Now what happens? The primary source of infection or the inoculum. From here, the active phase or the growth phase of the causal organism start. The mycelium, which was lying dormant inside the diseased cane, when the sets are taken from such canes and shown, the mycelium inside the host becomes active and grows systematically inside the growing canes. Talking about the another condition through which they were surviving the unfavorable condition in the resting phase, that is through chlamydospores. These chlamydospores, on getting the favorable conditions, uh, germinate and produce germ tube, which grow inside the seedling stage, and then the mycelium starts growing systematically inside the growing canes. After this thing happens, it means the infection has taken place and the red rot of red rot disease have been established. So after this, the symptoms are very clearly seen on the body of the plant body, on the sugarcane body, which we have already discussed in the previous slides. That what were the symptoms? That is, the rind will lose its color, it will become dull in appearance. When we slit open the sugarcane stem lengthwise, the white pith will be found it reddened in color with the patches of white running transversely across, and etc. and etc. So what happens now? Inside this mycelium are produced, which produce the conidia. Conidia, they are hyaline, that is translucent, single celled and falcate in shape. So these conidia, they germinate and form germ tube, which again form the mycelium inside the plant of another sugarcane plant maybe, and thus secondary infection cycle is seen. So here it is very clear that the conidia that are produced in the acervuli developed along the midrifts of diseased leaves during primary infection form the secondary inoculum or the means of secondary inoculum. The conidia, they serve as secondary means means of infection and spread the disease. They get detached and are dispersed through the agency of wind, water, and insects. On reaching the surface of the healthy sugarcane plants, they germinate immediately in the moisture retained in the enclosing sheets. Penetration in the host takes place at the nodes through the wounds left by tearing of leaves caused by the insects. Now these mycelium, again, after the season of the sugarcane gets over, this life cycle or the cycle of the sugarcane gets over, these mycelium, it remains dormant inside the diseased plant and enters the dormant phase of the disease cycle. Or what happens, the mycelium, they produce chlamydospores or the perithecial body, perithecia, which we have said, as we have already know, that they are considered to be a probable means of survival, and perennation or the dormant phase starts, completing the whole cycle or the whole disease cycle of red rot of sugarcane. Chona in 1950 and later Narayani also joined him in 1952 they both reported that the fungus is capable of growing and producing acidula in the soil. It is thus said that it survives in the active stage for about 3 or 4 months. The survival of the mycelium for the limited period, for this limited period actually, it is very sufficient to provide easy catching for the succeeding crops, because as we all know that sugarcane practically has no dead season. Now coming to the control measures which are required for the management of the disease. In the cultural methods, field sanitation and collection and burning of sugarcane trash in the field can be done. We can collect healthy sets from the disease-free area. Crop rotation with rice for one season and other crops or 2 seasons can also be done. Growing of recommended resistant and moderately resistant varieties, that are Colitotrichum CO86032, CO86249, COSI 95071, COG 93076, COC22, COSI 6, and COG 5. Management through physical methods. In this methods, what we can do, that we can remove the affected clumps at very an early stage, and soil drenching with carbendazim with 50 WP, that is in 1 gram or in 1 liter of water, can also be used. The cut ends and the entire set should be dipped in a fungicide solution such as 1% of Body X mixture. If the disease is noticed in the field, the leaves and the canes should be collected and destroyed by the running. For talking about the chemical methods, set treatment with carbendazimine before planting should be done. Fungitoxin chemicals like Bevistan, Benomyl at 0.1% for 18 minutes and at 52 degrees Celsius for dipping sets should be done, which give them almost complete elimination of rot infection.